Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at something pretty common. Why we rush to blame people.
Right, and digging into why a simple sorry often works way better than an excuse.
Exactly. And you, our listener, sent in some fantastic material, personal reflections on blame, trying to prove innocence.
Which actually brings up our word of the day, exculpate, meaning, to clear someone of guilt.
Ah, good one.
Hmm.
And you also touched on apologies versus excuses. Plus, we've got a great quote from Benjamin Franklin lined up. So our mission really is to unpack the psychology here. Why do we point fingers so fast?
And explore why choosing an apology, a real one without excuses, can be, well, more meaningful.
Okay, let's jump in. This urge to blame, where does it come from? Your notes, listener, suggest a few things.
Yeah, sometimes it's an ego thing, feeling smart because you think you've cracked the case.
Right. Or, maybe less flattering, it's about shifting focus if we're partly responsible. Dodging the bullet? Sort of.
That makes sense. And also just wanting it over with. Find a cause, any cause, quickly.
A quick resolution. It feels cleaner somehow, doesn't it?
Definitely. That desire for closure is strong. Ambiguity is uncomfortable, so finding someone or something to blame gives us a feeling of understanding.
Even if it's, premature.
Exactly. Even if we don't have all the facts yet, we just want that neat explanation.
You know, it really struck a chord when you mentioned, listener, your own experience with being a blamer.
Ah, the personal anecdote.
Yeah, admitting that sometimes emotions cloud things, making you want a certain person or reason to be the culprit.
It's that feeling, isn't it? You're overwhelmed, maybe upset, and you just need a target for those feelings.
But what's great is the reflection afterwards, consciously trying to think, okay, what else could be going on here?
That self-awareness is key. Recognizing that our feelings aren't neutral bystanders, they actively steer our thinking.
Pushing us towards snap judgment.
Right. Towards blame based on how we feel, not always on the cold, hard evidence. Seeing that emotional pull is the first step to maybe reacting differently next time.
Okay, so let's really get into this. Apology versus excuse. You laid this out really clearly, listener.
The core distinction.
Yeah. Apologies, you said, can genuinely resolve things emotionally. It's owning up.
It's taking responsibility for your part, yeah.
Whereas excuses, they came across as, well, insincere. Like hiding, avoiding accountability.
Definitely. You even said you'd prefer an apology even when it's messy, a mixed bag situation where fault isn't black and white.
That really says something.
It does, because a genuine apology validates the other person's feelings. It says, I see I had a role in this and I regret the impact. That builds bridges.
And excuses.
Excuses, however logical they might seem to us, often just sound like you're trying to protect yourself, not fix the damage. They can make the other person feel dismissed, unheard.
Which kind of perfectly leads us to that Benjamin Franklin quote.
Yes, it's a classic.
Never ruin an apology with an excuse. So simple, but wow.
It really cuts to the chase, doesn't it? Because
Right.
that word but, I'm sorry, but, it just undermines everything that came before it.
Totally erases the apology part.
Pretty much. It shifts the focus right back to why you did it, justifying it, instead of acknowledging the hurt or the mistake. Franklin nailed it. Keep apologies clean.
For trust, for respect, all that.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's recap quickly. We tend to jump to blame for various reasons: ego, avoidance, wanting quick answers.
Psychological drivers, basically.
And we've seen there's a huge difference between a real apology, owning it, and an excuse, which is more like dodging it.
And Franklin's wisdom just seals the deal. Keep them separate.
Right. Understanding this stuff, being aware of these tendencies in ourselves, it can really change things.
Oh, absolutely. In how we deal with colleagues, family, friends, choosing apology over excuse consciously, that builds much healthier connections.
So here's a final thought for you, listener, to chew on. Knowing why we often default to blame.
Yeah.
What's maybe one small practical step you could try to resist that knee-jerk reaction in your own life?
And thinking about apologies, how might prioritizing the genuine kind, no excuses attached, actually shift your interactions day to day?
Definitely something worth considering.